Now me personally, I've never been a big fan of MOBA style video games, but I do really like some Battle Royale. So when BMO showed me this game a few weeks back, I knew I at least had to give it a shot, and man, I was extremely surprised at just how addicting it was. Battle Crush is a brand new, extremely fun, fast-paced, free-to-play MOBA-style battle royale developed by NCSoft. I'm not exactly sure how long it's been in development for, but it was first announced last year at G-Star in Korea. I didn't know what G-Star was before this. I actually had to hit up the old Google to see for myself, and it's actually an annual trade show for the gaming industry in Korea, almost like their PAX or E3, so that's kind of cool. This game's still currently under development and not quite yet available for play as of the time of recording this, but this feels like a very complete product. I can't imagine much changing from now to release besides some random bug fixes and character balancing. As it is currently, the game's going to be playable on PC and iOS, but they do already have controller support implemented, so I could also see this coming to consoles in the near future. They don't have an exact release date yet either, which is a bit puzzling since it seems like such a complete product, but it's slated for spring of this year. And if we take a quick glance at the old calendar here, it's April, so that's gotta be pretty soon. Some of you might be asking yourself, how did bro even play this game if it's not out yet? Well, they actually dropped periodic beta tests, so we had about a weekend's worth of playtime to check things out. Typically, I like to put a lot more time into a game before going over things in a review, but with something like this, I mean, there's not a whole lot changing about the game experience from match to match. The games obviously play out different, but the gameplay loop is the exact same. If you've ever played Fortnite or Apex or PUBG, this is the exact same thing with a different coat of paint. So what does Battle Crush do to set itself apart from the pack? What makes it its own Battle Royale experience? Well, let's take a look, shall we?
Let's go!
Come on!
Let's go! Come on!
The most important aspect of Battle Crush that makes it unique is its MOBA style gameplay element. For those of you who don't know, MOBA stands for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena and is a subgenre of strategy games where each player has a set of unique abilities that improve over the course of the game and contribute to the overall team to defeat another team or their base. What's also really distinct about MOBA video games is its top-down style POV, where you see a lot larger scope of the map as opposed to first or third person video games. This is honestly an extremely smart and exciting new addition to the Battle Royale genre. It speeds up the slow and methodical gameplay of MOBAs and creates its own fresh new take on a BR. With this being a multiplayer exclusive game, there's not any sort of story elements going on, but on their website there's a section that explains a little bit about what's going on and the world this game takes place in. It reads, "The War of the Gods stands as a harrowing testament to brutality. The war ravaged the mortal world and left but a sole survivor among the 7 mighty deities. The last god, Chaos, declared, 'The era of gods has faded. Now we must yield to the rise of mankind.' Chaos handpicked valiant individuals, anointing them as adepts, and entrusting upon their shoulders the duty of safeguarding humanity. To aid them, Chaos bestowed each of them with a calyx, a divine weapon of the gods." So this basically establishes that all these characters aren't actually gods, but they've been given the powers of a specific god through their various weapons. There's not much explaining exactly why they're fighting, but if they've already tried putting this much work into building a bigger world outside of the gameplay, then I'm sure that might be info they add later in the future. During your actual playtime, this isn't something that's ever going to affect or change your play experience, but it's something that certainly adds a bit of depth to the game, which is always appreciated. I mean, if you're going to make people want to care about a game more, you might as well throw some sort of narrative in there. In its current state, the game has 3 separate game modes to play. There's the typical Battle Royale style experience, there's a Brawl mode, which is a free-for-all between multiple teams of 2, and there's a Dueling mode where you can test your skills in a close quarter one-on-one fight with another player. As we've already mentioned, what really sets this game apart from other Battle Royales is the implementation of MOBA style gameplay and combat. As you can see from the footage, the game is played from a top-down view, and every character has their own specific kit or abilities that aids the team in a fight. While we're talking about character kits, I just want to mention that from my own play experience, the range characters are insanely OP. I'm sure there's still a bit of character balancing they're trying to do before release, but as it is now, it feels like range characters have the upper hand for sure. By far. Besides just that though, there's also various weapons and armor pieces you can find around the map that buff your character's stats as you progress. At the start of every new round, 2 of the best items in the game always immediately spawn in, and there's such an insane buff to your character. I mean, if you have at least 1 or even more of these mythics on your team, it should be instantly GG's. I mean, those things are insanely OP. Like I said at the beginning, I'm not a super big MOBA fan. I've only ever really gotten into League of Legends, barely, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even stick around to play it that long. I got pretty tired of the game quick. Not to say it's a bad game or anything, I mean it's easily one of the most popular games out there in the world. I just wasn't having the best time with it. It's not that League isn't fun, I just couldn't really jive with the slow, strategical gameplay. I mean, I'd have my friends grilling me just over hitting the minions at the wrong time. I couldn't deal with all that. I just wanted to go run around and fight stuff. With this game, introducing the MOBA style gameplay with the fast pace of BR is literally a dream come true. There's no slow build up at the beginning trying to stack your character, no worrying about objectives, you just drop in and fight stuff, which is extremely nice. I mean, this game was so fun, it almost had me wanting to go back to League just so I could at least play something like this, even after all the headache I just explained. Moving on to the duels and brawl mode, this takes everything already great about the MOBA BR and amplifies it by 10. In these modes, the maps are way smaller and it's just a straight up fight to the death. No minions, no towers, just you versus other real players. I mean, between all the modes, it never really feels like there's any downtime. The overall length of all the games are pretty quick, and they're all some intense nuts to butts action the entire time. I mean, there's never any time in the games where you're just wandering around looking for a fight, it always comes to you. The overall combat in Battle Crush is really enjoyable and pretty easy to get a hang of quickly. Each character has 4 abilities and a stamina meter that determines how much they're able to use them. The stamina meter is also affected by jumping, swimming, and dashing, so it's almost like Dark Souls where you're trying to juggle being able to move and attack efficiently at the same time. If you just run in here trying to spam out all your abilities, you're going to get caught exposed pretty quickly. There's also a bit of a Super Smash Bros element to this where you don't ever really kill anybody on the map, you have to knock them out of bounds in order to successfully count it as a kill, which adds an extra layer of skill to things on both ends. On one side, you have to be able to fully finish off your opponent, and on the other side, you have an opportunity to get away and recover before you're fully blasted out of the map. Switching over to visuals, I didn't know exactly how to describe the art style, so I reached out to a dev on Discord, and they described it as casual art style. I'm not an artist or an animator, so I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I would personally describe it as extremely bright with a fun cartoon feel. The overall map is split into various different biomes that each look unique and offer different obstacles to get around while you're playing, whether that's bushes, buildings, or bodies of water. Also, this game has a pretty unique storm closing system where the map just starts to straight up crumble out from under you, and this caught me off guard a lot more times than I'd like to mention. No way!
Not like this.
No way! The characters also all look unique and have some sort of describing feature of the god they're representing. There's also a ton of different skins available for each character already that can be purchased with credits, and it's worth mentioning that these credits can be grinded for, which is extremely appreciated. It feels like nowadays everything cosmetic is an easy cash grab. Besides just the skins available for purchase, this game offers a new way for you to transform your character's base skin by upgrading it. As it is right now, there's only 2 upgrades for the skins, but come on now son, this is insanely cool. They're just over here giving out reskins for free and this game's not even out yet. I mean, that's my dog right there. Moving on to audio, there wasn't really a whole lot that really stuck out that like transcended the gameplay experience. The music is cool but pretty loud compared to the rest of the game. I mean, I had to turn that bad boy down rather quick in the experience. The general sound effects and whatnot did a good job at enveloping you into the action, but they're still just pretty standard sound effects. And as far as voice acting, there also wasn't anything super special, but they at least got a different voice for every character, which is nice.
Let's move out.
Safe areas have been reduced.
I don't want these to sound like I'm like dissing or anything right now. Like, these are all things that definitely worked and were fine, but it wasn't anything like, nothing stuck out, you know what I'm saying? Nothing was like, holy crap, did you hear that? Did you listen to that music track? Nothing like that. And I mean, this isn't like some big grand AAA title, so I guess we shouldn't even really be expecting that, but it's worth mentioning. As far as bugs and issues go, I honestly didn't really run into any problems during my time playing. The only issue I had during the whole playthrough was my friend Bimo crashing out of one of the games, but that only happened once and it never happened to me. The game's extremely simple at its core. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a phone game, so there's not a whole lot going on to mess up, if that makes sense. I also just want to say too that I'm actually pretty pleasantly surprised and glad it actually worked in a pretty good state even before release. Most dev teams recently have been working by this release first, fix later motto, and it's nice to see NCSoft making sure their game is in a good state before the full release. I will say though, with it only being in beta currently, I'm not sure how big of a stress test the servers have been under so far. I mean, who knows? If the servers got super busy around the full release, we might see a lot more issues pop up than what's present currently. If I had to wrap this all up into a rating here today 1 to 10, I think I'm going to hit it with a 9. Battle Crush is an extremely fun and inventive new addition to the MOBA and or Battle Royale genres. It doesn't matter which game type you're a fan of, I think either types of gamers can hop into this game and find something they really appreciate. A big problem with Battle Royales nowadays is that there's so damn many of them that it's hard to stand out and really set yourself apart gameplay wise. But I think NCSoft really struck gold here with this formula. MOBA and Battle Royale are two of the biggest types of games played nowadays, and they found a way to bring both groups together. This is a game I was super addicted to from the very first round, and I can see it having a very bright future. I cannot wait for its release. Well, that's gonna about do it here for the review today. If you've also been playing Battle Crush, comment down below and let me know what you think of the game. I'd love to hear about it. Also, if you enjoyed the review, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more content like this. Your boy really appreciates it. This has been Lunar, and welcome to Bound.